Grizzly, grizzly, broke the silence of the night. I whirled around, not taking time to zip my pants up. I was in fight or flight mode immediately. My blood was going out to my extremities. My brain was trying to put a scope on this. My eyes were being focused. I was reacting to a threat perceived in my mind by my colleagues in the car hollering grizzly, warning me that a grizzly bear was about to approach me. So I remember very clearly slowing everything down in my mind, but I was going faster than I've ever gone because I had all the blood out to my legs and arms, and I was flailing along, moving back towards the car, which was safety. I was trying to get back to the safety of the car, to get in the bowels of the car, so I was protected from the grizzly bear. We were in Montana at the dump in Gardner, Montana, and we were watching 7 grizzly bears up there on the hillside going down to get the food. They weren't that far away. So when I got out to go to the bathroom and I got caught in the middle of it, my colleagues were shouting, bear, 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 and I was running and giving it in a fight or flight mode. Now in my mind, I was creating that. I can still create it today. And that was 62 years ago. And I had something called tachypsychia. Now, tachypsychia is a neurological condition that alters the perception of time and usually induced by physical exertion or by traumatic events. Inside my mind, I was focusing. At that point in time, I was running full blast towards the car, a 1948 Ford owned by my good buddy Ray Arnsmeyer and 6 other people in the car. And I was heading towards that car. As I got closer to the car, I noticed just the window was open and the doors were closed. And about that time I was thinking, I crossed a barbed wire coming over here, and bang, there it was. And I got 4 inches right here. The scar is about 4 inches long. And I remember that to this day. And I want to talk about the scar, not the internal wound. So I was heading for that car. I was heading for that window. I was going to get through that window, come hell or high water. And I only weighed about 150 pounds, and I had a 26-inch waist. And I was going to get through the window and be in the safety of the car. And they kept hollering, bear, 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 to further scare me, I guess. So I got through the window, I landed on my friend's lap, and there I was. And there was a calm, a quietness for a moment. And all of a sudden, there was this avalanche and a cacophony of laughter. And I knew right away what happened. I was tricked. They told me that the bear was near me. Well, I looked out the front window with lights on, and we were watching 7 bears, grizzly bears, that came down out of the mountain and ate at the dump right there in Gardner, Montana. So I counted them 7. I was like, well, what happened? And I realized they had tricked me into thinking that. What friends they were. But in my mind, it was fight or flight to the fullest. I was believing a false reality brought on by my colleagues. So I looked out the window and I saw the 7 bears, so I knew that was it. Now, what can you learn from that little story? Well, as Toastmasters, we need to talk about the scar, not the wound. Now, that's metaphorical for being the scar is the afterthought. It's what you learn from it. It's a lesson learned. And then that way you can answer all the who, what, where, how, why, and when, and you can include that in your story. Why tell stories? Well, everybody has a story, whether it's true or whether it's real or not. you have an image of yourself, whether people have given that to you over time or you accept your own reality. Everybody has a story, so you want to bring it out. And that's what you do in telling these little stories. Because really, you can even go in and find the emotion and the hormones and the change of the brain during that process, and the fact that you were in a fight or flight syndrome. Now, if you tell a story, you want to put it into roughly one of 7 categories, because that's all there. There are thousands and millions of stories being told every day, but they basically fall down into about 7 categories. You know, the hero's journey, kill the dragon, the quest, voyage and return, comedy, tragedy. This is basically, they boil down to one of those. So as Toastmasters, what you want to do is you want to also understand what emotion you want to bring out of your crowd, your audience. What emotion do you want to put in there? Do you want to put something with a physical response like fight and flight? Or do you want to put an adrenaline response in there? A quickened heartbeat, quickened pulse, up to 250 beats per minute, or 250 beats heart rate, beats per minute. Do you want to dilate the eyes, lack of oxygen, increased oxygen? What is it that you want to convey to your audience? Do you want a psychological response, like the tachypsychia, which is tunnel vision? Do you want a hormonal response from the audience, like oxytocin, the feel-good, cuddly, or the endorphins? Or do you want to activate their neurotransmitters and activate the dopamine or neuroepinephrine? If you do that, guaranteed you will win that audience over. So remember, talk about the scar, not the wound.